Hello everybody and welcome to the Chrissy B Show, the UK's only TV programme that's dedicated to your mental health and well-being. Now, are you having trouble sleeping over this period? Are the winter months leaving you feeling fatigued? Well, fear not, because on today's Chrissy B Show, we're going to be tackling all those subjects and more as we welcome on some great guests that aim to make the winter period one to look forward to. We'll be speaking with Ruth Kearne of Host UK, a great charity that aims to match up international students that live in the UK with welcoming homes throughout the year, but especially during the festive period and New Year. Ruth has brought along David Hunter, who has been a host for over 25 years and talks about some of the great experiences this has given him. After that, we'll be joined by the ever motivational Chesley Baker, who will be telling us how she believes people can become more confident. Then Sally Walford will be showing us how to become more confident in our homes now that Christmas is over, with the best ways to declutter all the tat you've accumulated over the festive period. And if all that has left you far too excited to go to bed, then the Sleep Council have you covered as they give us their tips on the top ways of achieving good sleep despite the wintry weather. Plus, Faye Jejede will be showing us some great workouts you can do right from the comfort of your living room. But first, starting us off is our resident medical expert, Dr. Rob Hicks, who's answering some of your medical questions. Let's go to see him now. Welcome to the show, Rob.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Are you ready to answer some questions?
Always ready.
Brilliant. So if you guys have a question at home, you can email us on doctor@chrissybshow.tv. So first question, Rob. Can cold weather cause eardrums to rupture? During a recent bout of cold weather, I experienced a really sharp pain in my ears, and since then, I can't hear very well. Sounds quite serious.
Well, yeah, so the first thing to do is to have this checked out. Mm-hmm. If you've got recent pain in the ear, and if your hearing's been affected, you need to have things checked out by your doctor to see whether there's any damage to the eardrum or actually whether you need some treatment for something that's going on in the ear canal. It is unusual for cold weather to cause a ruptured eardrum. If it should happen, it's usually because there's already something wrong with the eardrum in the first place. The most common causes still of ruptured eardrums are when people put things in their ear, you know, so maybe a pen or a pencil, and they actually because they're trying to clean the ear.
With a pen or a pencil?
Yeah, you'd be surprised the number of people who, despite our advice on previous programmes, still persist. And in medicine we say you should never put anything smaller than your elbow in your ear.
Okay.
Yeah, so that explains it clearly.
Yeah.
The other thing, of course, is pressure changes. So if you're scuba diving or flying, for example, that can cause eardrums to rupture. But I would urge you to get this checked out, because it is very, very unusual for cold weather to be the sole reason for a problem. It's more likely to be something like infection or something obstructing the ear and the tubes in the ear.
Okay, wonderful. Next question, Rob. Why does waiting out in the cold make people sick? I was going to see a concert the other night and had to wait in line for ages. I'm now feeling really sick and run down.
Yeah,
I've always wondered about that. I thought you catch colds from people from a virus, not because you're outside in the cold.
That's right. And so the reason why is that the person may have been exposed to people coughing and sneezing and spreading these viruses. Yeah. It may be pure coincidence that that they picked the cold up from the office where they work, or if they've got young children, maybe they got it from young children at home. So it could be purely coincidence. However, saying that, there was a lovely piece of research performed a number of years ago by the Common Cold Centre in Cardiff in Wales, where they actually demonstrated that if you reduce the body temperature, then you leave somebody more susceptible to developing the symptoms of a cold. So what they explained was that they got students some students put their feet in ice cold water for a period of time, and some students just to put their feet in an empty a bowl for a period of time. And actually those who had put their feet in the ice cold water, within 5 days, more of them had developed cold symptoms than the other group. And the hypothesis around this was that people already had a cold virus, but they weren't showing symptoms. But the cold weather reduced the blood flow to the nose. It reduced the provision of the infection-fighting cells, which then allowed that cold virus to actually manifest itself and sort of wake up from a sleeping point of view and actually develop symptoms. There is some truth within it.
But the virus would have been there in the first place.
Yes, for that to have happened.
Okay, yeah. Wonderful. Okay, next one, Rob. How can I stop my skin looking really washed out during the winter? My skin gets chapped and grey during the winter months.
Oh, this is a very, very good question, because this obviously comes around every winter.
Yes,
people find that their skin gets dry and flaky and sometimes irritated. One of the reasons for this is that if you've got central heating within your home, then that often dries the skin out, making it more likely to become flaky, making it more likely to become itchy. Then you scratch it and then you get into a cycle. So the sort of things you can do, obviously moisturize as much as possible with a moisturizing cream. When you're in the shower or indeed the bath, try and keep the water lukewarm rather than hot, because the hot water will again dry out the skin. So yes,
hot water,
and keep the shower or the bath to say about 5 minutes rather than a long 20-minute shower or bath, which we all enjoy. Let's be honest. Yeah. You need to feed the skin from the inside as well, so keeping hydrated with plenty of liquids, a healthy diet, and also get plenty of sleep and manage your stress, because when we're stressed and tired, it often manifests itself in the skin. It looks sallow, it looks greyish, and it looks dry. And if you have got central heating, maybe turn the temperature down a little bit, and that usually will do the job.
Next question. What tips are there in dealing with feeling low during winter? I'm 30 years old and moved to the UK about a year ago. I never had to really grow up around changing seasons or low temperatures. I always had plenty of sun, but now I'm just always cold and very pale. That's in my second winter here. I noticed that I get more depressed and lethargic. I was wondering if you have any good tips.
Well, at this time of the year, what people are often experiencing is seasonal affective disorder, the winter depression, which is felt to be due to a lack of daylight exposure. Obviously, the daylight hours are fewer, and people are often spending more time indoors. So there's a few things to think of that you can do yourself. One is to spend as much time outside in the daylight as possible. Exercise is very good for boosting mood, whatever time of the year it is. If you're indoors, try and sit near to a window and make the indoors as light and airy as possible. Again, to give yourself the exposure to the light. The other thing, of course, is a healthy diet, plenty of rest, and keeping stress under control. And if you're finding that that's not doing the job, or you're having more significant symptoms, so for example, you're not sleeping well, or your appetite's increased or decreased, or if you're feeling very, very low, and particularly if this is going on for a very long time, have a chat with your doctor, because it might be that counselling or antidepressants, or indeed for seasonal affective disorder, sometimes light therapy is recommended. But if you're finding it's a pattern year in, year out, then what we do advise people to do is, when they know roughly when their symptoms are likely to start, then a couple of weeks beforehand put these measures into place, because sometimes you can actually then prevent the symptoms from arising in the first place. You can keep them under control.
Okay, next question, Rob. Why does my eczema get worse in winter? I'm a 32-year-old woman with eczema, and it's so much worse in winter. I try to stay moisturised, but it doesn't seem to help.
Yeah, again, another issue of the colder weather. Often it's because of the miserable wind and the rain that's chapping the skin and drying it out. The other thing might be, again, central heating. That people are indoors, the central heating is up, and again that dries the skin. What I would suggest that you do with the moisturiser is obviously moisturise as often as possible, particularly before, particularly after you come out the bath. Whilst the skin is still a bit damp, put moisturiser on, or indeed the shower. Use an emollient that you can add to the bath, or use instead of your normal soap. It's just as hygienic, but it just doesn't strip the skin of the protective oils. So you're keeping those oils on the skin. So when you're bathing or when you're showering. The other thing about wintertime is we often wear sort of warmer clothes that may act almost like sandpaper on the skin, and that can irritate eczema and cause it to flare up. So stick to clothes like cotton, but if you're you are going to wear a sort of thick woolly jumper, maybe put a thin cotton top underneath, so that there's a barrier there between what can be the irritating wool fibres and the irritated skin. And again, the thing with central heating, if you have got central heating, maybe drop the temperature down a little bit and see if that makes a difference. If that's not improving things, have a checkup with your doctor, because it might mean that you actually need some steroid treatments just to calm down the inflammation and give the skin a chance to recover.
Okay, next question. Can not getting enough sun cause a vitamin D deficiency? Should I drink a lot of milk to compensate? We do not have a lot of sunlight in the winter, and it's difficult to get 15 to 30 minutes of it when it's so cold.
The answer is vitamin D deficiency, not enough sunlight. Yes, it can occur, and people get symptoms like fatigue and muscle aches. But milk isn't, in the UK, milk isn't fortified with vitamin D, so it's not a really good source of vitamin D. You need things like red meat, oily fish, and eggs. Saying that, it's incredibly difficult to get enough vitamin D from those foods during the winter time, which is why in the UK people are advised to consider taking a vitamin D supplement of 10 micrograms each day. Of course, during the springtime and the summertime, 10-15 minutes of exposure to the sunshine, to your face, to your uncovered hands and arms and your lower legs, for example, without sunscreen, will help generate the vitamin D in the skin. That's how we make most of our vitamin D, in response to sunlight in the skin. Obviously, you take care not to burn. You don't want the skin to burn. But the other thing to think about is if you're somebody who spends a lot of time indoors, or actually you have to cover up for cultural or religious reasons, then again you may be advised to take a vitamin D supplement throughout the year. And certain groups are advised this. So have a chat with your GP to see whether that's appropriate for you.
Okay, whizzing through to the next one. Why all of a sudden am I getting dandruff? I'm almost 30, female, and never had dandruff in my life. All of a sudden I have it like crazy. I use anti-dandruff shampoos, but is there a reason it's hitting me now, and will it go away by itself? And she says, I haven't changed any shampoo or conditioners lately.
It's a really good question, because things often happen when they happen for a first time. Yeah. And somebody can have been predisposed to having dandruff, but it's just never happened before. Okay. And you assume, people assume, oh, it's going to happen in teenage years, in the 20s. So when it happens a bit later on, and it can happen at any age, people say, well, what on earth's going on? What have I done? So that might just be pure coincidence that it's happening now for you. It might be actually that the skin is getting very, very dry, and that's sort of making it more likely and making it more obvious. It may be as a result of stress, it may be as a result of an underlying medical condition, so it might actually be a form of eczema or psoriasis, or a condition called seborrheic dermatitis, which affects the scalp and looks very, very much like dandruff. Or it could in fact be a fungal infection. So what I would suggest that you do is maybe change the anti-dandruff shampoo, use that for a number of weeks, say 3 or 4 weeks, to see if that makes a difference. If it doesn't, or if you've got a lot of redness and itching, then pop along and see your GP, get them to have a look at it to see whether it is actually dandruff, or whether it's another skin condition that needs a different type of treatment.
Okay, and last question for today, Rob. Can cold, windy weather cause dry eyes? I've always dealt with dry eyes, but I notice it more in the winter.
Answer is yes. Yes, it can. Because of the exposure of the wind and the cold, it can certainly cause dry eyes. The other likely causes, particularly in this day and age, is too much computer screen use. Because when we're using a computer screen, and that includes a tablet or a smartphone, we're not blinking as much, and we need blinking to generate the tears, and so we don't generate these tears, and so the eyes become dry. The other thing to think about is underlying medical conditions, where symptoms of dry eyes can be one of the symptoms, a side effect of medications, for example. So if you're taking medicines, have a look at the information leaflet to see if dry eyes is the cause. If you are concerned about this, or and that extra blinking doesn't help, or artificial tears doesn't help, and particularly if you've got redness or discharge or blurred vision or any sort of other problems with the eyes, get them checked out rather than waiting. But generally speaking, in dry eyes, cold weather, you can protect your eyes by wearing a pair of protective glasses. They're clear, but they just stop the wind and the rain from just hammering away at the eyes. And try blinking more. Take more time out looking away from the screen, do a few blinks and come back again.
Wonderful. Rob, that's all we've got time for today. Thank you so much.
Lots of good questions, weren't there?
Yes, all winter related. It's good.
Yes.
And if you have a question for Dr. Rob Hicks, all you need to do is email us on doctor@chrissybshow.tv. Now don't go away, because after the break I'll be joined by Ruth, Kearne and David Hunter of Host UK to talk about their work in giving international students a home for the festive period. Plus, the Sleep Council will be telling us how to get better sleep during the winter period. But first, how many people in the UK went abroad at Christmas in 2016? Was it A, 1.5 million, B, 2.5 million, or C, 4.5 million? Find out the answer after this break. Welcome back to the Chrissy B Show, everyone. So we hope you've enjoyed your Christmas break and are ready to hear some great stories from people that have dedicated themselves to making the festive period that much brighter for others. But first, before the break, I asked you, how many people were thought to go abroad in Christmas 2016? Was it A, 1.5 million, B, 2.5 million, or C, 4.5 million? Well, I can tell you that the answer is C, 4.5 million. That's right. Record numbers of Brits went abroad for Christmas, which roughly equates to 1 in 4 British adults. Now, this can be noted down as an attempt to escape the cold weather, with the most popular destination being the Canary Islands, Egypt and Goa. But sometimes people aren't able to travel over Christmas or the festive period, especially if they're young students. And this is where our next guests come in as representative and users of Host UK to tell us how they've been matching international students up with great homes. Welcome to the show. So we have with us here Ruth, Kearne and David Hunter. So welcome to the show, both of you. It's lovely to have you on. So first of all, can you tell us, Ruth, about Host UK and how it all started and what you're doing?
Certainly. Host UK is essentially about hospitality. Hospitality for international students that are resident here in England for the duration of their studies, far from home. And it's about offering them a short homestay, perhaps one day or a weekend, or over the Christmas period when everything shuts down and it's very difficult to move about in any case. Then we offer a 3-night accommodation with families, of which we have 1,500 volunteer hosts throughout the UK. And it gives the opportunity for, essentially, for them to have that welcome that is so gratifying for both the guests and for the hosts themselves. And intercultural exchange. So for our hosts who are perhaps not able to travel, it enables the world to come to their door.
Yes.
So we've been going for 30 years. We started in 1987.
That's
so
amazing.
Our 30th birthday this year.
Oh wow, that's amazing. And what are maybe some of the issues that can crop up when students don't have anywhere to go over the festive period, for example?
Well, the alternative is rather miserable when you think how there'd be rather empty halls of residence and so much that is shut down, and actually the bleakness of a British winter, which is something we often forget. Our poor international students from sunnier climes are having to adjust to.
What is this cold
So
weather?
it's a very grey prospect and a very pleasurable alternative to be in the bosom of a British family with all their twinkling lights, their Christmas tree, their good food, their celebration, and sharing all those traditions that raise everyone's spirits at Christmas time. A very happy alternative.
Brilliant, definitely. And David, you've been a host for how long now?
My wife and I have been hosting for more than 25 years now, so really from the beginning of this scheme. And we mainly host at Christmas. I think over those 25 years we've hosted someone every Christmas.
That's amazing.
And it's been a great opportunity it's a great scheme. It's a great opportunity to meet people from different backgrounds, different cultures. So we've had people from China, Uganda, Mexico, Armenia, Mongolia, all sorts of different places. A really fantastic opportunity. And we've made some great friends out of it, actually, and people who keep in touch with us, who now send their children to stay with us in London as well. Lovely. So the contact is continuing over the generations as well. And I think from the students' point of view, as Ruth's been saying, it's a fairly miserable prospect to spend a Christmas in a halls of residence in the UK. So to come into a family, to share the Christmas lunch, to meet different people, to be welcomed into a British family atmosphere, means so much to the students as well. It's been fantastic in that sense.
What have been some of your highlights, would you say?
Some of the highlights, well, some of the sort of, day-to-day highlights. We spent one Boxing Day, being taught how to make Vietnamese spring rolls nice. With a lovely Vietnamese student who's remained a good friend, and we've been to visit her and her family in Vietnam since, which has been lovely. Fantastic. Very interesting. We had a mature woman from Ethiopia who did a Ethiopian coffee ceremony for us, which is very elaborate, a bit like a Japanese tea ceremony, but with incense and all sorts of things. And that sticks in my mind as well. Wow. We had one of the first visitors we had was a Chinese family with a little daughter, Nini, who had her third birthday with us. And I still remember her face when we brought in a cake with 3 candles lit on it, and it's sort of her face lighting up as well. So it's been fantastic, but we've also become godparents. We became godparents to one of the children of one of our guests who came, and last year we went out to the young man's marriage in Toronto, so as guests of honour. So, the contacts are there. It's been fantastic.
You just never know how it's going to pan out, do you, when you do this?
And we've been to a number of marriages. We've just had a really great time through it. And I
think it's amazing, for example, you said that you've been hosting almost every Christmas, that, that people actually are willing to give up, kind of give up their Christmas in terms of their privacy. So I think, do you have to be sort of maybe quite a giving kind of person to host, or is this open to all sorts of people, would you say?
It's open to everybody, but I think there are certainly those that see that it is part of the giving, which is what they want to make part of their Christmas. And on the success of doing it one year, they realise what joy it brings all round, and how what a thrill it is for other members of their family to have that extra guest at the table, or a couple of extra guests in some cases, because students can go in, as families indeed, or singly or with a friend, and they won't necessarily know each other. So one story I was reading was, I think it was a Russian and a German student were hosted, and their friendship developed whilst they were being hosted with a British family, and resulted in their marriage.
That's nice.
We're not a dating agency. No, we're not that. But that was a very moving story. So no, it's very special. And also we have to remember that a lot of these students, they have the intensity of their studies, and their mastery of English may not be everything that we enjoy for the purposes of study. So to be immersed in a household where their English is encouraged and better, they're very grateful for that as well. That is hugely helpful to them, and not always something that they can indulge when they're amongst their same nationality within the university. So those that opportunity is really cherished by them, and they're very grateful for those conversations that are so revealing about each other's cultures as well.
David, you're going to continue for a while, aren't you? I can see you love it.
Yes, we've got 2 Iranian students coming at this Christmas, which should be fun, and we're all getting together. And we also host during the year, and we do some day visits as well, because we live in London. There are a lot of students from London who are quite keen to do day visits as well. So, and that can be a very nice introduction into it as well. That's for hosts who perhaps are a little bit nervous about having longer stays. So and I would really echo the point Ruth has made. I mean, we started when my wife and I started hosting when we were in our early 30s, I think, and when we had 2 young children. It was great. We had lots of families come to stay with us with young children, and the children were all able to play together. They didn't have a single word in common, but they were able to play together and just get on. And it was lovely to see them playing together, and
So you can basically be any age, obviously, of 18, yeah, to get involved.
And we do emphasise that we don't expect our hosts to be tour guides, but a great many of them find it's a wonderful opportunity to showcase their little part of Britain.
Yes, true.
And for the student, they may be reaching parts that they would not ordinarily be able to access in a tour sense.
Yeah.
And then they gain something very special from it, especially those that are in, as they invariably will be, in cities. To get out to the British countryside does really open their eyes, and they're stunned by the beauty of it, because we do have a beautiful country.
I think what you do is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for coming and telling us about Hosts UK, and all the best for the future. I'm sure you're going to find more hosts.
I do hope so. I do hope so. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Well, everyone, now it's time to head over to our decluttering expert, Sally Walford, to show us how to banish all that clutter after the Christmas celebrations. Welcome to the show, Sally.
Thank you very much, Chrissy. Nice to be back.
You know how much I love you on the show, because I've learned so much from you.
Oh, great.
And I'm becoming a bit of a declutter queen, I have to say. All right, princess, maybe. I haven't quite reached queen standards yet, but I'm sure I'll get there.
Whatever, fantastic. As long as you're decluttering and storage is becoming smaller.
Yes, it is. Yes,
you know,
definitely.
so less stuff, happier person.
Yes, definitely. So what are you going to be showing us today, Sally?
So I thought I'd talk about, because obviously, you know, I've decluttered quite a lot of the food. I don't know about you, but I have done that. So I wanted to show some of the things that we probably had for the holiday season, how we can store those better.
Okay.
And also some storage solutions that we can utilise things that we've had as well for Christmas.
Okay, brilliant. So take it away, Sally.
So obviously I think the first thing that maybe everybody's got is a Christmas jumper, whether you bought one for the office party or whatever. But also this applies to all of your jumpers, and it's a great storage solution. It's also the way you should be folding.
Yes,
so
okay.
I'm going to demonstrate how you should fold a jumper.
Wonderful.
So there we go. Especially if you've got a smaller space as well. You know, this is a really good way. So you basically take the jumper in half, okay, and then fold the sleeve over and then back.
Okay.
Okay, and then we're just going to repeat that on the other side. So you take it to the half point of the jumper, take the sleeve out, and then we're going to fold it back in neatly. Okay, and then just stretch it out a little bit.
Okay.
And then we're just going to fold it into 3 sections now.
Wonderful.
So 1, 2, and then the last one is 3. So you should actually be able to stand it up. Like that.
Okay.
So you can then put it either next to lots of them or in your shelves like that. So
okay, I never thought of storing it this way.
Yeah.
That's really clever.
Especially if you've got drawers.
Do you know what, that will really be useful for me, because when my hubby gets jumpers out, he tends to sort of, especially if it's at the bottom, he just tends to pull it out and then everything. But this one you can actually just slip it out.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm so changing that tonight. I have to do it today.
Yes.
I love it.
And also you can see then, you know, all your jumpers
I
neatly.
never thought of stacking them like that, I have to say.
There you go.
Amazing, I love it.
Another top tip.
I'm not going to sleep tonight until I've done the jumpers.
Great. So I suppose everybody, or more or less everyone, might have had some of these containers in their home. So chocolates and sweets and things like that, and biscuits as well. I think that's quite a popular present as well. So what I've actually done is I've actually painted the top with chalkboard paint.
Okay.
So that the kids can respond. Let me just grab some chalk. So, for example, if they're going to do their arts and crafts, they can get to write, you know, art and craft on the top, and then that becomes part of their habit.
Okay, yeah, so they start labelling things.
So they start labelling things, they start learning to organise, and also...
And that rubs off, does it?
It does, it rubs off, and you could just paint over the top, and or you know, whatever. But the great thing about these as well... Ta-da!
Amazing.
So yeah, so we've utilised on space again, and also the kids are learning to put away their toys.
It's true.
The other thing that I did, well, this is a biscuit tin. I mean, they can be utilised for absolutely anything. That can be nuts and bolts, birdseed,
Yeah.
things like that, you know. But I've actually done it so that it becomes like a birthday tin.
Okay.
So, and again, I've painted it in chalkboard and just, you know, done whatever. And then you can just write to whoever it is on the top. And again, then they can utilise that and pass it on to somebody else.
Yeah.
So we're upcycling.
So recycling as well, yeah.
Upcycling, recycling, and, you know, also containing the amount of stuff that you're giving somebody.
Yeah, yes. It's true.
So, and again, they stack really neatly.
Yeah. So good. Wow.
Yeah.
What else? I'm excited.
Okay. So everybody...
She's got more under here, guys.
I have got loads. So under here, I'm sure everybody after the holiday season has got an empty jar in their home. So what I've actually done is I've just grabbed that and I've just got some ordinary gaffer tape. This one happens to be silver.
Yeah.
And I've just wrapped one roll round the bottom. And I always think it's when you're having dinner parties or, you know, even just for some kind of decoration in your home, it's better than rather going out to buy stuff if you can upcycle and recycle. Yeah. I'm an advocate for that. So I did have some leftover Christmas lights.
There you go.
There you go. So, and just switch those on. So I'm just going to pop them in. And you'll see that tape actually covers the battery. Okay. And now,
that's interesting.
There we go. We've got our own table decoration, or the alternative to a candle, or
safer alternative.
You know, absolutely, absolutely.
That's amazing. Wow.
So again, utilising what we've got.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah. To make our homes
very
pretty.
arty and trendy, that is, I would say. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Great.
Sally, thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
I get excited every time you come on the show because I know I'm going to learn something else. And we'll see you again very soon.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, we all want to go into the new year feeling confident about our personal and professional lives. So stay tuned after the break for Chesley Baker's take on the traits that make us confident and how to develop them. But first, it was found in a recent poll that young people are generally confident or not confident. Find out the answer after this break. Hi, I'm Chrissy B and my show is all about improving your mental health and being happy. Join me every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 p.m. on my channel Sky 203. Visit chrissybshow.tv for more information and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Chrissy B Show. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Chrissy B Show and on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. Welcome back to the Chrissy B Show, everyone. So we hope you enjoyed our chat with Host UK, who do some great work matching up students with great homes during the festive period. And now we're about to go over to Chesley Baker to talk confidence. But first, before the break, I asked you, according to an article in iNews, today's young people are feeling A, confident, or B, not confident. Well, I can tell you, unfortunately, the answer is B, not confident. In fact, by all accounts, there seems to be a huge issue with young people's confidence nowadays. It is based on a survey of 2,200 young people, which found almost half felt stressed about their body image, 2 out of 5 had worries about their job or school, and 3 out of 5 lacked self-confidence. So the report also revealed that 45% of the young people did not believe in themselves when they were at school. And Dame Martina Milburn, Chief Executive of the Prince's Trust, said this report paints a deeply concerning picture of a generation who feel their ability to shape their own future is slipping away from them. So quite concerning there, but hopefully we can now talk about how confidence can be built with our very own Chesley Baker. Hello, Chelsea.
Hello, Chrissy.
It's lovely to have you on.
Thank you.
So very worrying statistics there.
Oh, it is. And confidence is so important in every aspect of our lives.
Yeah.
And the word confidence, really stems back all those years ago, and it really means to trust. And confidence is about having confidence and trust and faith in one's own ability or in something. And of course we can discuss, confidence in life, at school, in business. Can you imagine an unconfident person in the workplace? Their peers would be elevated far quicker than them. At schools, you know, an unconfident person, you know, might get bullied. And in day-to-day life, an unconfident person may get walked over, may get, you know, battered down in different relationships, not be able to speak up about themselves. And it's a very debilitating trait if you are unconfident. But the good news is that confidence can be learned.
That is amazing, and which you're going to help us with today, aren't you, Chelsea?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
Okay, so you've got some lovely tips for our viewers, haven't you?
Yeah, and of course I regularly come on the show as the business advisor, you know, but in terms of business, can you imagine buying from somebody who is unconfident, who is fumbling around, I'm terribly sorry, Chrissy, apologetic, nervous, and, you know, twitching, and, you know, just really an unconfident person. In business, we have to believe in somebody. We have to see that they're confident to buy from them. In the financial world, which I come from, pitching, you know, that's a skill that really we have to, you know, believe in the person to back their project or back their idea. So confidence can be learned, and it's just so important to perhaps take stock of where you are right now. I mean, on the confidence Richter scale, you know, I'm pretty much 9 out of 10. I'd say 10 out of 10. I'm fearless. I'll do anything. And if I, you know, let's just say it was going and swimming with a shark or something, I would have confidence in my ability to say, nope, I am not doing that, I don't care. So it's confidence in also being able to say, no, thank you.
Exactly.
So I've got a few tips today for you. And like I said, take stock of what you've achieved already. That's a little great confidence booster, because it might just be something little. It could be some sports that you've been good at, some exams you've passed, perhaps some awards that you've been given, certain achievements. Let's take stock of what you've actually achieved already. You may have completed a marathon, launched a project. Let's actually write them down and take stock of what you've already achieved. It's a massive confidence booster.
Definitely.
And with that, we do need to analyse our own strengths. What are we good at? You might be a great communicator, a great organiser. We are all gifted at something, but there's enough negative people out there to put us down and say, actually, no, you're not good at anything. But we are, and let's actually highlight those, get to know ourselves and find out what are our strengths, what are we good at. At the same time, you can find out what are you fearful of, and then we can do things to overcome those fears, and that leads to confidence as well. I think next is looking at your appearance. So, you know, we've come on the show today, we've got dressed for our appearance, and that can really have a massive difference on how you feel. It's the same as when we walk into a room full of people and we're, you know, we're slouched like this. We need to hold our head up high like a peacock, they say, and just be, you know, be powerful in the way that you dress and own your appearance. And, you know, sometimes we could be having a slouched day at home and we clean ourselves, we get all ready, and it really
kind of gets you in the mood, doesn't it?
Gets you in the mood. It manages your confidence. You suddenly feel like that. And one of my biggest favourites is smile. People all say to me, oh, you're that woman who all smiles and grins. But smiling, it releases all those endorphins. It's wonderful. It makes you feel happy, just like exercise.
Yes.
So all these little tips, they all add up, but we forget them. So you'll switch off the television at some point and you'll forget all these. So you need a checklist up of, you know, if you're really wanting to dramatically improve your confidence, write this checklist up. Believe in yourself. Absolutely number one. I haven't got A-levels, I never went to university, but a quote I wrote when I was 16 years old was, believe in something and you can achieve it. Believe in yourself and it will massively influence the results that you get. It will absolutely increase your chances of success. And in that respect, it is about accepting who you are. This is us. You know, we've got to be authentic. We can't pretend to be somebody that we're not. And my other big tip is don't compare yourself to anybody. There's enough of that around. You know, you look in the magazines and you see, oh, why don't I look like that? It's a really bad thing. It makes you think of those negative thoughts. Why don't I look like her? Why haven't I got that? Ditch the magazines, you know, ditch everything and accept who you are and love it. be content. You know, meditation keeps you grounded. It makes you think, wow, I'm really happy with who I am.
And work on yourself, work on what you have, rather than trying to work on someone else.
What you haven't got. So with that, you can do a daily gratitude list, which is absolutely wonderful, which is all about, you know, let's be thankful for the fact that, you know, it's cold out there, we are warm here today. Let's be thankful that we have a bed to sleep in. Homelessness is on the rise. We actually have a bed to sleep in. So daily gratitude lists are absolutely wonderful. These are all little things, and it's just about being happy with who you are and saying, right, let's go for it. And just do something, do anything to start getting yourself into that more confident, positive attitude.
Brilliant. Chesley, thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
And we shall see you again very soon in your next segment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So everyone, perhaps you're feeling not quite so confident because you've overindulged during the holiday season. Well, have no fear, because we have you covered with some exercises from our fitness expert, Faye Jedede. Let's see her now.
Hi there everyone, thank you so much for joining me in today's fitness segment. My name is Faye Jedede. Now today I'm going to be taking you through a fantastic workout. It's a total body workout using just one equipment. That's right, an equipment that you can find anywhere in the home, and that is a chair. So I'm just going to pull up a chair and so you can see what we're going to do. Now what you need, guys, at home is of course your trainers, a bottle of water to hand, but the chair that you need to use is one that is stable, has no wheels on the floor, so that it can hold your body weight when you're doing today's exercise. Okay, let's get started. Now sit down on the chair and sit down and have your feet hip width apart, and we're going to start with warming up. So we're going to stand up and down, okay? Place your hands on your thighs. Here we go. So up and down. So literally what we're doing is warming ourselves up, getting the body nice and hot for the workout that is to come. Good. Excellent. Whew, I'm hot already. Okay, let's carry on. So now what you need to do, we're going to come to the edge of our chair, and then we're going to walk our feet forward. So as I said, make sure it's a steady chair that doesn't swivel. This moves just a little bit, okay? But yours at home won't be moving. Right. Walk your feet a couple of inches forward. Make sure your hands are still clasping that chair. So I don't want you to sort of be doing on tippy fingers. Make sure you've got a good hold on that, because we're going to be working quite hard. So get my breath back, because that was quite warm. And then we're going to kick the feet up, just like this, up and down. Good. Breathe. Now I'm going to make it harder in a few seconds, and I'm going to go faster. Okay, here we go, faster. Excellent. Ooh, these are leg kicks. My thighs, your back. Good, and your arms are going to feel this, and of course your butt. Excellent. Last two. Well done. Ah. Come back to that chair just to get your breath back. Excellent. Okay, I did say it's a total body workout using the chair. So the next thing we're going to do is lunges with our legs, elevated lunges. Now, place your left leg on the chair, hop forward as far as you can, okay? Excellent, because what we want to do is come down like this into a lunge. Now, my knee, the front knee, needs to be in line with my ankle and not past my toe. If it goes past your toe, hop forward more. Okay, are we ready? Let's go. Down and up. Now as you go down and up, squeeze your glutes when you come up. So you squeeze your butt cheeks right here, tight. That's it, excellent. And most of the work is going to be right here at the front of your thighs. Wow. I can feel it already. Excellent. Now, if balancing is difficult, place your hands together like this, and then this should help you balance. Two more. Breathe. One more. Wow, excellent. Now let's change legs. Make sure you keep that feet planted on the chair. Hop forward. Excellent. Bend down first just to see how far that knee is in line. Hop a bit more if you need to. Okay, here we go. And keep going up and down. Wow, I can feel this right on my glutes, and that's your backside, your butt cheek. So squeeze it when you come up and squeeze it when you go down as well. Now your thighs right here at the front, you're going to be feeling it right here at the quads. So keep going, squeeze. Excellent, keep going. Oh my goodness, who said that exercising at home was going to be easy? It's fun though, and it's effective, so just keep on going, don't stop. Give me 2 more, and last one. Excellent, wow. That was your total body workout using just that one equipment, the chair. And now you can just sit in this chair comfortably and just relax. Thank you so much for joining me in today's fitness segment. Take care, and I'll catch up with you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much to Faye there. Now don't go away, because after the break we'll be joined by the Sleep Council, who'll be sharing with us the secrets of good sleep over the winter period. Plus, I'll be giving you some tips on how to get back on track with spending now that Christmas is over. But first, how many adults in the UK report disturbed sleep? Is it 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5, or 4 out of 5? Find out the answer after this break. Welcome back to the Chrissy B Show, everyone. So we hope you've been enjoying our look into some post-Christmas well-being. And up next, we'll be talking to the Sleep Council as they give us some top tips on how to achieve good sleep during the winter months. But first, before the break, I asked you how many adults in the UK report disturbed sleep. Is it A, 2 out of 5, B, 3 out of 5, or C, 4 out of 5? Well, shockingly, according to the Sleep Council, it's 4 out of 5. So it seems that most adults in the UK are not reporting satisfactory sleep, and alongside this, many are reporting only getting between 5 to 6 hours of sleep a night, far less than the recommended average. So now we all know that sleep can be especially difficult during the winter. So to help us out, here is Lisa from the Sleep Council to tell us what we can do to tackle that.
Hi guys, it's Lisa from the Sleep Council, and I'm here today to chat to you about how to achieve good sleep despite the winter weather. As winter takes hold, there is nothing more comforting than curling up for a long sleep in a cosy, comfortable bed. With temperatures at their lowest in the early hours, for many people the reality is being too cold and uncomfortable to get a good night's sleep. But here's a few top tips to help ensure that we don't turn into ice cubes during the night, but we stay warm as toast. Firstly, try wearing night clothes such as pyjamas or a large t-shirt. Natural fibres such as cotton, wool and silk keep you much warmer than synthetic materials. You could try having a warm bath just before you go to bed. This will help warm you up and help to make you feel sleepy. Alternatively, you could try having a warming milky drink, but make sure it's caffeine free, so choose something like a herbal tea or a warm milky drink instead. And lastly, why not try to take some exercise, which will get the circulation going and help to keep the body warm. It is also worth looking at the bedroom, the bed and the bedding, because they all play a part in helping to keep you insulated during the night. Look at keeping the bedroom warm but not too hot, ideally around 16 to 18 degrees Celsius, and make sure it's free from drafts. Avoid a saggy bed. It may be nice to cuddle up for the warmth, but it can be very uncomfortable and clammy when you're thrown together by a bed that isn't giving you the correct support. Also, why not look for a mattress which has a thicker side for use during the winter months? A soft, sleeping surface is a better insulator than a flat one. Use a fleecy underblanket to retain the heat. You could also choose a duvet with a high TOG rating, or use several layers rather than a single layer of bedding. Layers help to trap warm air and are easily removed if you get too hot. You could also try a hot water bottle, because they're a great way of keeping warm once in bed. Make sure it has a cover on it to avoid scalding, and it will stop it feeling cold in the middle of the night. And lastly, electric blankets are ideal. Underblankets will help warm the bed up before you get in it, whereas overblankets maintain a constant temperature throughout the night.
Thank you very much to Lisa there. So now it's time for my tips on what you can do if you have overspent a little bit during the festive period, or if you've overspent a lot. So my first one, if you didn't do this before Christmas, please, you should definitely do it now and actually throughout the year, because it's really good to actually create a budget. Now, it might seem like an obvious one, but it's amazing how many people don't actually bother to have one because they think they can just calculate everything in their head and they've got a really good idea about, you know, what they're spending and what the, you know, what the outgoings are. But it's actually a really good idea to create a budget for yourself, to see exactly what is coming in and what is going out. And from there, what I've done in the past is actually allocate certain amounts to certain things. So for example, outings, I've got the bills, a budget for the bills, and then another one for outings, another one for food. So you know roughly how much you are spending, or actually there's even apps that you can download and you can actually key in every time you spend something, and then you can actually track your spending, and you know, okay, I've spent a bit too much on food, so let me cut back maybe the next week when I go out shopping. So these are really good things to actually have and keep a track of. And another thing you can do, once you have your actual budget, is to start cutting back on things. So if you have overspent, if you are in a little bit of debt, you know, if Christmas was one big sort of jolly and you didn't really keep any track of anything, and now you're in quite a difficult situation, there are certain things that you can actually cut back on. So one idea, for example, is your groceries. So you can actually start using cheaper cuts of meat, for example. You can bulk up your food with things like beans and vegetables, which are obviously cheaper than meat. And also try to avoid getting treats, because they tend to be very expensive. It's actually cheaper to do things, you know, yourself. And also, if you normally buy things for yourself, like every month, maybe you're used to going out shopping and buying clothes and different kind of things, why don't you go on like a self-gifting fast, which basically you just set yourself, maybe during the month of January and February, for example, you can just kind of be strict with yourself and not buy anything for yourself until you're back on track with your finances. And you're not going to do it forever. If you just kind of sacrifice a little bit, you know, at the beginning of the year, just to get yourself back on track and do it that way. And something else that you might consider, so going back to the grocery issue as well, you can actually do a little challenge, make it like a little game, and kind of like say to yourself, okay, so this month, for example, or maybe in February, I'm going to cut my grocery bill in half. And then you see some creative ways of actually bringing down the amount that you actually spend on groceries. So it's not that you're going to starve, because you probably find that you have so many things in your cupboards already, and maybe you haven't actually even, when you shop, you don't even kind of check what you've got already, and you end up having 2 or 3 packs of things. So check what you already have in your cupboards and start using those things up. And if you do set yourself a challenge to maybe cut your grocery bill in half or even a quarter, would be helpful. It kind of forces you to be more creative with what you have at home already and start doing different things, and maybe even create new meals that you've never done before. So it can actually be quite fun. So just try that. You'll be amazed at what you can actually come up with when you have to. Something else that you can also cut back on is leisure. You can maybe find alternative things that you can do, such as going to museums or walks in the park, something like that. And if, for example, you do tend to go out for meals a lot, I love to do that. I love to go out for a meal, or at least, you know, something. I love to do that with friends, with my husband. What you could do instead to cut back, it's not like you're just going to say to yourself, okay, I'm not going to go out for like 2 months at all. What you can do is eat your main meal at home, and then maybe just go out and have dessert. So you're still getting the experience of going out, going somewhere different, but you're spending a lot less, because you're not, you know, having the starter and the main meal and then the dessert in a restaurant, for example. So these are ways that you can actually really, really save. Obviously, I would advise that, you know Christmas is coming up, for example, that, you know, beforehand you already plan and budget for when Christmas is coming up. But if you haven't done, and you have overspent, then these are a few things that you can apply to get yourself back on track. Well, everyone, that's all we have time for today. But if you have a story that you would like to share, or you have any comments about today's program or any of our previous episodes, please do get in touch with us. You can email us on info@chrissybshow.tv. You can also tweet us at Chrissy B Show, or leave a message on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. Until next time, bye-bye for now.